We think of floods and are starkly reminded just by the recent events in Japan. They do occur. We very quickly forget about them. Our human memories fail us. We do remember the good things and don't remember the bad things so very much. The pictures in Japan, however, remind us very drastically and dramatically that these extreme floods, these extraordinary events with return periods of hundreds or thousands of years do occur and strike even developed countries. Japan is one of the countries of the world, perhaps the country in the world with the most sophisticated geohazard and risk management systems. They have their own ministry on debris flows called Sabo Works. They spend hundreds of millions of dollars every year in geohazards mitigation. Why? Because they're on the Pacific Rim. They suffer earthquakes, as you have seen, volcanic eruptions, liquefaction, landslides. They have quaternary volcanoes that blow up due to earthquakes or not. And they develop numerical models for flood assessments, even for tsunami assessments. Yet they are not immune to disaster. The picture behind me there is the 1948 flood, which is the second flood on record on Fraser River. This 1948 flood had a return period of approximately 200 years. The 1894 flood had a return period of approximately 500 years. Return period means it happens on average every 500 years. But you can imagine that there were actually some people that lived through the 1894 flood and the 1948 flood. You can calculate the probability of that occurring in one's lifetime, say if somebody turns out to get 8 years older. And the probability is 3%. So two dramatic events happen in one lifetime. Quite interesting, I find. So this picture there shows you Sumas Mountain, far in the background, the top of the picture, Mount Baker on the US side of things, and an extensively flooded Fraser River floodplain. This event cost a lot of money, even though it was only in 1948 where the development and the number of people that lived on the floodplains was a fraction of what it is now. Nowadays, approximately 350,000 people live on the Fraser River floodplain, and there is, of course, vital infrastructure going through it. So, in Canada, the traditional approach is to estimate the return period of the 200-year, or the flood stage of the 200-year return period event. So 200-year return period event means there's a 0.5% chance of it occurring annually. So once again, it's not that it happens every 200 years, and if it happens today, it won't happen for another 199 years. That is not the case. There is an annual chance of it occurring. Then on one river that I know of, that is the Fraser River, the flood of record was used rather than the 200-year flood in order to design its flood protection system. And that's the 1894 flood on Fraser River. Then typically a standard freeboard is added. That's typically 2 feet or 0.6 meters. And that accounts for the uncertainty in determining the flood stage, in determining the riverine conditions. For example, gravel bed aggradation, meaning the build-up of gravel at the bottom of the river. And that can be integrated in flood hazard and risk assessment.